What I want to do is get everyone's updated appointments. And then, you have everyone's, David? Okay, okay. I need to know how many appointments you had when you left here, and then how many more you got set when you got home last night up until today, or this morning too, right?
Okay.
Okay. So, Mark, when you left?
When I left, I believe I had 4 scheduled.
And how many do you have now?
I have another 4. I have another one confirmed, and another one is gonna call me to.
So 5 now?
At a time. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
at 5.
4,
yeah.
Cool. So we'll say 4, and then 1. Good.
5 coming in, and then I had 7 more.
So you had 5 before you left, you mean?
Right.
Last night. Good.
Yeah.
Nice job. And then
7.
7 more or 2 more?
7 more.
Nice. So what did you just went straight home, started calling? Did you
Yeah.
already have a list set up?
Yeah.
That's what did she tell you?
Families.
Nice job. But you see when you do that, how much easier it is. See what she really hooked you up, because a lot of times people will go home and they'll spend all night finding the numbers that they could have just had when they came in.
All right.
I know some of yours went in town, so that's not a big deal. We'll work on
My
that.
thing was, I didn't want to be counterproductive and go to people that I know won't buy anything, and those are going to be the
Can I
people
stop you real quick?
Yeah.
You don't know that. As long as they're Mac,
Mhm.
right? Well, then this is not the workshop. We're already getting distracted here, but don't prejudge your customers. If it's a Mac customer and you're showing it to the right people, trust me. Sometimes I'll get into that. But what I want to say is don't prejudge your customers. If they're a Mac customer, they're Mayor, especially if they're your top 5, good to go.
Yeah, that's the thing. My top 5, they're all together this weekend out of town.
Yeah, cool. Totally
So-
cool. I'm okay with your schedule. And sometimes, like for example, for you guys, you have people that you can't control if they're in and out of town.
Mhm.
But the thing you can control is whether you assume people can buy or not. Now, as long as you're showing the right people, I'm just telling you, get that done. So let's get started. Give me 30 seconds. All right, let's start in 30 seconds. Get your notebooks, pens. Okay. Yeah, excellent. Well, I just want to point something out. So there were 7 of you yesterday. I know Alexa's got school, so she's coming after her class.
She's at St. Thomas, right?
Right, she does.
I was just there.
So here's what's really important. We invite everyone to come to the extra coaching. But there's only 2 that decide to wake up, right? Whether I went out last night, couldn't handle it, and by the way, it's noon. I just want to point, it's noon, not 9.
I've been up since 8.
So if you remember, I said having a 10K fast start. It's not hard. It just means you need 2 things. You need the coaching, hence you're here. What was the other one?
You need
Willing to work.
You have to work hard. Yeah. So here's
One's
my thing.
nothing without
If
the
you
other.
if you can't get up, I can coach you all I want, but if you can't get up, you're missing appointments and so forth and so forth. So this is not a knock on anyone who's not here.
Yeah.
I want to be very clear. What it is, it's more so showing who is here. Okay. You guys know the term. It's easy to talk, but it's more important to
Walk the walk.
walk the walk. So I appreciate you guys putting your money where your mouth is, and it's exciting to have you here. Just moving forward, I said this to a couple of you. Whatever the start time is, you got to work hard to get here 15 minutes early. Otherwise, communicate ahead of time. Cool? But I'm excited because today's theme is about 10K fast start. I'll start with a story. When I was in college, I was pre-med, and I had this physics professor named Dr. Bhagat. He was this Indian guy. Coolest guy ever, and also one of the hardest exams I've ever had. It was one of those pre-med weed-out classes. And so the first exam was halfway, the midterm was half the grade, and the final was the other half. There was no extra credit, and that was it. So it was rough. And then so before the midterm, he said, all right, everybody, on Friday night, we're going to have this special review session. It'll be Friday at 7 p.m. So everyone kind of rolled their eyes.
Happy hour.
Right, of course. You're right. You know, not that I ever did that, but if I did, that would have been a happy hour. And I said, oh, my God. And there's like 200 people plus in the lecture. So I said, I need to get a good grade. Guess out of 250 people, how many showed up on Friday at 7 p.m.?
Like, I'm going to say like 25.
25, 30 of us. Okay, so and we were already dressed up to go out that night. So we're there, and he walks around. He says, hey, I really appreciate you being here. And he opens up the board, and there are 2 or 3 questions. We spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and we're a little irritated because we thought it was going to be 30 minutes. So it's already 9 o'clock. People are calling us, hey, what's going on? But we go through it. You might know where I'm going with this. So he goes, hey, I really want to reward people who put the extra work in. Right? So we show up on Monday. All right, everyone, open up the test. Go ahead, open up. There's only 3 questions. Guess which 3 questions?
No.
3
The same
No.
ones, right?
Oh, that's
So let's say we went to the review and everyone else didn't. So when we opened the exam, we would go.
Yeah.
It was like a,
I'm gonna be done with this
Yeah.
in 5 minutes.
so we finished the exam. Needless to say, we rocked it. And then he said it again for the final. Hey, we'll have a review session. Of course, we said, oh, no, I'm not going to that. We definitely went to that. It's the same thing. And he wasn't giving you the answers just to give you the answers. He was rewarding people who were coming in for what? Extra,
Coaching.
and were willing to.
Work hard.
Yeah, that's how I roll. Okay. What I'm going to give you is it's not science. It's not rocket science. What I'm going to give you is what I gave Mila, and she had just shy of a 10K fast start. What I gave Zach, who's already, is he there already?
8.5.
Yeah, so Zach by today will be at $10,000, and he'll be by Sunday night probably 15 to 20. So I want to give you the same exact things. So I want to start off, brand new set of notes, new sheet of paper at the top. Just want you to repeat this. Fast start equals your first 10 days equals your training. Fast start equals your first 10 days equals your training. Okay. So when you finish today at 8 o'clock, you'll start making money right after on your first 1 or 2 appointments tonight. Some of you might have 3 if you go late night with a virtual, like the West Coast. What I want to point out is that here, this workshop is designed to help you sell between 10 to 20 plus $1,000. You can put that. This workshop is for selling $10 to $20,000 worth of Cutco in your first 10 days. So let's talk about all the perks and why people want to do it. And I went through this yesterday, but just a quick review. First of all, earning. When you sell $10,000, you earn $2,000. You might remember this. When you sell $20,000, you earn $5,000. Okay. So if you're really motivated by a lot of money in a short period of time, this might be one of the top things that motivates you to work hard and get the coaching. Okay. Second thing, I'm gonna make sure I get this in the right order for you guys. Okay. You can also win free Cutco. And it's up to $1,800 worth of free product. So when you leave here today, you're going to get about $400 to $450 worth that you will easily use to sell lots of Cutco. But when you finish your fast start and you've increased yourself to have practically the entire basic, most popular set to start with for people who have to cook, it's what you sell more. So if you're really motivated by just having more product, and of course in the long run you get to keep that, and that's yours to keep, by the way. So the sample kit, that's the company's. What you win is yours, and if you want to buy the company product, you get a 66% discount. It's pretty sweet, but I don't talk about that until you finish training. Okay. Third, if you sell $10,000 or more, that's where you would earn what's called VIP night. VIP night. Now, I went through this yesterday, but VIP night is my chance to put all the performers together and have a fun, epic dining experience in downtown Miami. Now, a couple of you nodded your heads. Are you familiar with Brickell and downtown Miami? So again, wine and dine, VIP experience. And the reason I want to put this together, not just for the fun, but I love the networking aspect. So if you're really about advancing and progressing and making a name for yourself, or Mila actually did one of the best jobs all last summer of connecting herself with the right people. The people who sell Cutco for a career, I invite them. Okay. So for example, Andy, the one who's at $2 million in sales, he's one of the Cutco legends of our company. He sits at the head of the table, I sit at the other end of the table, and they give all the performers a chance to chit-chat with each other. And they all exchange numbers, and what happens is Andy's now able to mentor some of those people moving through the summer. So of course, if you surround yourself with really high performers, what tends to happen? Yeah, YouTube perfectly become the same thing. So this is a big chance to network. And then of course, if you like to travel, we have our $15,000 plus tropical trip. Okay. I'll put a 3-2 for 3 days, 2 nights, all inclusive. Again, we talked about either Caribbean or Mexico, and Luke will actually tell you where the location is today. So if you're really excited about traveling, I know some of you said you've never traveled, some of you love to travel, some of you just got back from traveling. How long were you away?
3 months.
3 months, that's cool.
You went abroad.
Do you like to travel?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I know people who love to travel. This is a really big thing that motivates them because a lot of people who like to travel love to travel for free because it's also expensive. Okay, so then once you get to 30%, we also put down dirty 30, which is 30%, and that's when you're earning 30% or higher. I'll talk about the bonus later on commission. And here's why people love doing that, because when you're working at 30%, after your first 10 days, you'll sit down one-on-one with us for your schedule, and you'll say, okay, I want to continue working, but I either want to do part-time or full-time, but then also you can change it every week. So I think that's the coolest thing, what's unique about our position. So if you decide you want to go part-time work, our students can still earn full-time pay. So let me give you a really cool example of why this is cool. When you go back to school, let's say you go back to UF, and where do you go to school? Are you in school?
I'm not in school at the moment.
Even better.
I'll be-
Okay,
yeah.
so watch.
I work full time, so I'm.
Okay, so let's just say full-time around the job if you're still keeping that job, or back at school. Let's say you're already at 30%. Okay. Most students will hit this 30%, which is $10,000 by the end of the summer. But what I'm teaching is how to do it within 10 days. At 30%, let's say you decide to do 5 appointments. And this is before you go out on the weekends and you do what Luke does, virtual appointments. Maybe you do 1 or 2 from people you get connected up in Gainesville, but another 3 from people back down here. Let's say moms from Somerset. I don't know, I'm just making something up. So you do 5 appointments. You can do that from your own dorm room. You can do those in your pajamas, right? Because they don't see you. They only are on the phone with you while you go through the website together, okay? So you should do 5 appointments, and at that point, you'll be better at making sales. So let's say you make 4 sales. Now, mind you, that's like 5 hours worth of work. Of those 4 sales, what's the average order if you mess up?
300.
Yeah, 300, but you'll probably be a lot better by then. I would say you're at least 500. So it's $2,000 in sales from the privacy of your own dorm room, and you're in your pajamas. Mind you, it's 5 hours worth of work. At 30%, it's $600. If you're at 50%, which is the bonus, highest level, that's $1,000. Now, I might be 40 years old. I might be, my time in school might be way different than the way it is for you guys now. We didn't even have text. That's how old I am, right? It wasn't a thing. But it doesn't matter. I know this is still a lot of money to make for 5 hours worth of work, and you're in your pajamas in your dorm room.
That's what I make a paycheck.
And
That's
then
2 weeks.
Right. And I think that's just such a cool, I mean, I would do things like this. We didn't have virtual appointment, but I would do this at the University of Maryland. And in 1 or 2 days or half days, I'd make enough spending money for the next month. So I just want to put that. So a lot of people are motivated by that. Or what Mila did is she decided to not work part-time, but work full-time. And that's where our students are earning big-time pay. And when I say big-time pay, I mean our 5-figure club, where for the summer, I'll put down $10,000 plus earned. Okay. And we had multiple students last summer, like our assistants Josie and Mila, make over $10,000 plus last summer. Mila, what was the final number? Was it 12, 15?
I think it was right at 10.
Right at 10. Okay,
Yeah.
cool, beautiful. And then lastly, as far as resume experience, I'll put down TLA. And put down Leadership Academy. TLA stands for the Leadership Academy. And again, this is Cutco's corporate leadership and training program. So what's really cool is that by the end of the summer, if you're one of our top performers, you'll get an interview with me. And out of the 150 to 200 people, we pick the best, probably 125. And those students will work with us while going to school or around other jobs or other things. And on a monthly/weekly basis, we're able to train them on skills like personal finance, impacting credit score, running a business, how to be more professional, public speaking, how to negotiate leases. I mean, things that I know that I never learned in college, and especially as a pre-med major, but I know that every student can either use the skill for themselves or for whatever they get to in their future. And I don't know your majors or what you want to get into. I know auditing, right? You want to do your own business?
Not
sure yet.
I'm Big 4.
Okay, beautiful.
I'm doing business of some sort, so
Okay.
I'll be opening my own business.
Okay, so what's really cool is these skills apply, and more importantly, students are able to do what's called Cutco through college, where they're selling Cutco to make a lot of money, using TLA to build their resume and their skills. And that's what Mila is doing right now. She finishes up her last few years at UF, okay? So those are the things, and I want to start with that because the coaching part and the system is pretty easy, but you have to figure out what's exciting for you. So I want to know what's motivating you. I'm going to give you the sheet so you can put it to paper, and we can talk about it one-on-one throughout the week. So at the top, put your name above the line, please. And then at the top, all the things I just covered, all the things you can go for, all the things that can be, I would say, motivating. I want you to circle the top 3 or 4. Let's say top 3 or 4. Whether it's income in a short period of time, whether it's VIP night for networking, whether it's the dream vacation voucher, aka tropical trip. Mila, can you text on the group page, on our staff page, just ATL for Jeff, update high flyer contract. Okay. get on the division manager's radar for potential advancement with TLA, momentum for the summer, the free Cutco, or 30-30, part-time work, full-time pay. Juliana, curious, what were your top three?
Income in short period of time, VIP night, and the Dirty 30.
It's identical. For sure. Either she's brainwashing you, or you guys are perfect roommates.
No, we are.
Okay, got it. Parker, how about you?
I have 4 because like I can't. choose.
Sure.
But it's the income in a short period, the
Got it.
VIP night, the Cutco products, and Dirty 30.
I like the Cutco products too. And here's one
I
thing:
love Cutco.
if you think long term, you might not use this other than the job right now, but you should use it at home as often as possible. You get really good at it, and then when you finally have your own family,
Yeah, the more
You
you know
already
your
have
product, the better you sell it.
yeah, exactly. Good. So what I want you to do right now, just take 30 seconds. Actually, we'll skip this part for time since we started a little bit late. Later on, I'm going to have you write down why you're excited to get coaching and work hard for your goals. Okay, and we'll skip that. Here's the structure of the extra coaching. I want you to have this in your schedule so you know. So it's really simple, and I'm actually going to cross out one of them. See the bottom one says High Flyer Workshop number 2. Just cross that out. We don't even, that's even extra. We don't even need that. Okay. Circle the first bullet where it says Morning Champions Club. I'm pointing to it right here. 8 to 9:30. That's the extra coaching. So just circle that. And what that means is every morning for the next 5 weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And that's it. We're going to have a special session where myself or Luke or David or Mila or Josie will coach you on a specific skill set that we don't have time to coach you on during the normal training. Okay. And if you notice, it says 8 to 9:30. So the first hour from 8 to 9 will be for you to get on the phone, and we'll help coach you to get a hold of the MAC moms that don't pick up at night, but they're definitely available in the morning. Why? What's happened? What's already happened from before 8 o'clock that allows them to be free?
School.
Yeah, the kids are gone now. So now 8 to 9 is one of the most beautiful times. Ask me, one of the most beautiful times to get a hold of people. So we do phone time from 8 to 9 to book all your appointment slots, and then from 9 to 9:30 we do the instruction. Okay, and so we'll teach you things like how do you get customers to buy not just a set, but buy more than. How do you get customers to buy more than average, not just for the knives, but also to support you? Second session, we'll teach you how to get more recommendations so that you know every time you meet with a customer, you're not just getting 5 to 10, you might get 10 to 20. And then the other 3 sessions will be catered to make sure you increase your skills. Okay, so that's the extra coaching. And then on the back, you open it up. Okay. Don't worry about all this stuff, right? This is just kind of explanation. Let me give you the short version just for time. There's 3 types of fast starts, okay? 10K fast start all in. See the top left-hand corner? All in means, Jeff, I have nothing going on. You have me for 10 days. I will do my best. I'll work really hard. I'll fill every possible appointment spot. And I don't want to just hit 10K. I want to possibly go for 15, 20 or more and really hit it out of the park. Okay, that's you here. You would circle that. Then there's all the way at the opposite and part-time, meaning, you know what, I want to, but I just have some major commitments in my first 10 days. And I just can't commit to the whole process, but I will do what I can on the short days that I have. And then there's in between. Let me explain what in between means. In between means I'm 100% down for 10 days. I want as much of this as possible, but I have like 1 or 2 things. In this case, I have a full-time job, but outside of that, you got me. Or I have like an event on Thursday or Tuesday, but outside of that, you got me. That's in between. Okay, so circle the one that's probably you, so we know. And if it's in between, we'll talk to you one-on-one, and then you let us know. We'll work around it. Okay, so I know you have a job, and you have events coming up this week. What do you have?
Graduation and my sister's birthday.
Beautiful. We'll work around that. Okay. But here's the cool thing. You don't need all 10 days to have a 10K fast start. I said this before. Ready? 1,200, 1,800, 2,200, right? MacBook, 13, 15, 17 inch. All you have to do is sell 1 of those a day. Or Alex Thomas did it in 3 days, right? Remember I told you went on a senior trip? So he sold like 1 or 2 of these a day for 3 days in a row. It's still $10,000. Okay. So it doesn't have to be full 10 open days. Okay. Cool. So at the bottom, I want you to sign off. That's what you're excited to commit to. And then we'll work with you one-on-one and that will schedule. And you pass it all the way to the left. We'll put those at the end of the table, and Miss Miller will collect those for Luke. Okay. Cool. So let me give you a couple tips. give you the strategy. So go to a new section in your notebook. Now, I'm going to first talk about the number of appointments. 40 appointments. Okay? If you're completely average, you don't sell a single one of these sets, every time you have to mess up and drop down to a grocery bill, you can still do $10,000 as long as you get 40 good customers in the 10 days. That's the hard way to do it, but I want you to know it's possible to do it that way. So the first thing and most important thing is making sure you know who you're calling and how to network. So let me teach you types of people you're going to call. We call this, first of all, our attack list. Okay. Our attack list is just a nickname that we have for the people the organized list that you have of your contacts, people you will try to sell coaching to. Okay. And there are 4 types of people on your attack list. The first one you already started calling last night. We call those friends and family. And who can remind me why we start with those people?
Because they're more willing to help you out.
Yeah,
'cause they know
even if,
you.
and again, we talked about not prejudging customers. Forget what they think. Side note, when they say, honey, you can come over, but I'm not buying anything, you know what that means?
They've already.
Right? Buyer's remorse. They're just telling, and they're usually a shopper. If they have to tell you before you even show what you're showing, it's like, oh, Julian, sweetie, you can come over, but we're not going to buy anything. What? That means they're a shopper, and they're giving you an indicator. You guys saw Katrina the video. Mm-hmm. Buyer's remorse, same thing. Okay. So here's why we start with friends and family, because you know them, and then you're also affiliated. So I just want you to visually see why they're such a good customer. My goal for you is to see as many friends and family as you possibly can in your first 10 days. And in an ideal world, all you're doing is showing friends and family. But that's if you have that amount. If not, we'll teach you how to call recommendations on Monday. So the first type of recommendation is called an acquaintance. Put acquaint for short. So who's an acquaintance? Like, explain to me, Parker, what does that mean to be an acquaintance?
You guys, you're facey with one another. You know each other's names. You don't know their
Facey is a good word.
backstory.
Yeah, it's a good word. How would you describe?
You know of them.
That's it.
Not close to them.
Or they know of
You.
you, vice versa. That's how we describe it. Ready? People you sort of know. Ready? You know them. You're just not affiliated. You don't talk often. Okay, let me give you the top 3 people that are acquaintances that will boom your list. Ready? Your friend's parents. Where you know the son or daughter really well because they're your friend, but you just don't know the parent too well. Right away, that's a huge list. When I was in high school, I would go to parties and I knew all these people or sports teams. And it was friendly, like, oh, hi, Mrs. So-and-so, and that was it. Or I never met the mom or dad. That became thousands of dollars worth of customers and extra recommendations for me, okay? The second are mom and dad's friends that you're not really cool with. Like there's that's my mom's best friend and we're close with them, I know them. And then there's, that's my dad's friend, but I know of them.
They went to high school together.
Yeah, or you see them at parties, but you don't really talk. That's an acquaintance. Third, teachers. Teachers, neighbors, coaches, people that you're kind of affiliated with. Okay. And then next one, what we call directories. This is another huge source of recommendations. Directories, for example, directory of parents, colleagues, directory of neighborhood, directory church or place of worship, directory of old jobs. It's huge because, ready, you might not know everyone listed in that directory, but you are affiliated because you're part of it. So what does that make it? Well, what does that not make it? Makes it not telemarketing. Makes it not cold calling because you're
We don't
part
do
of
that, right?
No,
cold calls.
Well, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, I know.
People wouldn't invite you over if you weren't affiliated or know them. People wouldn't let you over. Okay, but ask me a lot. We see thousands and thousands of people every summer. Who are your top directors? What directories were the biggest ones for you? High school, right? St. Thomas.
St. Thomas.
Tell me who not to go to.
Yeah. So I would say for you guys, you got to figure out if you have a directory or neighborhood, mom and dad are part of some type of association. Their job, my dad was a doctor, so that was a really easy list for me to get his colleague from each of the hospitals. So just start to put thought into that. You won't show those people this weekend because we don't even teach you how to call them until Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But by Monday, if you can bring your directors in, we'll teach you how to call those too. Okay?
And that's
Most of Microsoft. That's what it was.
Got it. That's right.
And that's good part's going to be the 9 to 9:30 of Monday.
No, that's going to be the advanced training here.
Monday
Later on
7.
Monday.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I'll be here at like 5:15 if that's okay.
Talk to me one-on-one.
Yeah,
Schedule.
we'll talk.
Okay. And then finally, the last one we call are just pure recommendations. Okay, where you don't know them and you're not affiliated. And I'll be honest, we really don't even see these people until the fall or really next summer. Here's why. You're going to get so many recommendations from acquaintances and directories that you won't have time to show these people. Plus, these are easier to sell to than someone who's a complete stranger. Now, when you get better, you can sell these people, but I mean, everyone you show in like June and July is actually still an acquaintance. And people that you think are recommendations, they actually know of you, so they're really an acquaintance. And that's why, in fact, Mila, I would say 80% of her customers all summer were these three, and then she barely got into her recommendations towards the end of the summer. Okay, but these two is where you're going to make the most money, and all the things you want from Fast Start. I mean, if you have a big family, great, but this is where you build your business. Okay, acquaintances and directors. But we also have a funny nickname for these two. We call it your chicken list. I want you to write down chicken list. You want to guess what we call it your chicken list? Juliana, why is it your chicken list? Because when you call them, sometimes you
Chicken out.
you chicken out, or you feel chicken calling, or feel weird. Okay. Why?
These are the people that you don't know well enough to feel comfortable. Just
Yeah, they're not quite friends or family, so it's been a while. Ready? This is the #1 skill you're going to learn with us. It separates you and your resume. Just to call, being comfortable speaking to people. And so, and think about that, right? You're calling an old neighbor that you don't talk to, a teacher where it's been a while since you've been in college for 3 years, or mom's friend that you only see at parties. Why is that chicken feeling come out? Think about it. Look at what's that chicken feeling for? What's it all about? Think about it. You don't overthink it. Why is it chicken? Why do you feel chicken to call those people sometimes? Or why would you?
Because you're calling to sell them something.
Okay, because maybe you feel like you're trying to sell them something. And you are,
Yeah.
right? But what we're selling, of course, helps them. Why else? Julian, why would you imagine some kids are, and some people aren't chicken. She wasn't chicken at all. But why would you say?
Just because you don't speak to them.
Yeah, because you don't speak to them. And ready? Here's the cool thing. One of the things that you're going to learn, that skill, is how to speak to these people. Mac moms and Mac dads when you get to the house. But here's what's really interesting. When you graduate from college and you interview for Big Four, guess who you're also interviewing with? Mac customers. And guess who you've already been comfortable speaking to for 3-4 summers? Mac customers. Guess who most people wait until they graduate college to learn to speak to? Mac customers. So, for example, Mila, I could put Mila in a room with my friends. I'm 40, and she'll hang. No problem, and be very comfortable. Versus I take a student who's never exposed themselves for 3 summers until they, a lot of times, I don't know what percentage, most people, their first time really interacting in an adult conversation is interview time. That's not smart. So just food for thought. But see, I want to challenge your thinking. This is my coaching here. Just don't be chicken, right? Like what's the worst case scenario? You call, give me someone on your chicken list who you think is going to be a really good Cutco customer, but it's kind of funky to call them.
My friend's mom, Nancy.
Okay, so mom's friend's mom. Good.
My dad's best friend.
Beautiful, beautiful. Those are kind of, I think, my dad's best friend to Tony. So Tony, and then, yeah, those are mine. Mine was Sue Ren Barron. You know who that was for me? Sue Ren Barron was my first chicken list. It was my middle school church choir director. That's weird. Yeah. Right? So I was already 19 years old. So middle school was 8th grade. So think about that. 4 years of high school passed. So I'm 6 years removed from being in her choir. And the only time I see her is at church when I'm waving. For 6 years. So I call her. And of course, the worst case scenario, what happens if you call dad's best friend? What's
They
worse?
say no.
Yeah, they say no. Or what's worse than that? They're mean. Well, first of all, if they're mean, then now you know, and you're not going to show them Cutco. I doubt they'll be. But even if they are, now you know. And you don't have to subject yourself to a full presentation with that person. But what's the best case scenario? A big, ready?
Yeah.
Best case scenario, Miss Sue Ren Barron. When I called her up, I just read the script that I learned on Monday. I said, "Hi, Miss Sue. This is Jeff Gamboa." And she goes, "Jeff Gamboa, you're one of my favorites." And she went off for like 10 minutes. I said, "Oh, this is really nice." She goes, "Are you selling Cutco knives?" I couldn't even get through the damn script. She said, "Are you selling the knives?" I said, "Yes." She goes, "You better come over. I love that stuff." And I almost didn't call her. I went over, her husband was barbecuing. She bought a Gallic plus 6. It was like a $700-800 order. She gave me 22 recommendations and 21 bought. Wow. And I almost didn't call her. And she was one of the easiest appointments of that summer.
That's the way I feel about this.
Just
like,
don't-
I'm
just-
scared to call her, but I know
Yeah,
she's
just
gonna
don't
be
don't
good.
be chicken. Just don't be chicken. The most genius thing we do is put college students as our sales reps. It's the most genius thing in our company.
I know, it's so beautiful. It's mutual beneficial. It's
Yeah,
like a mutual
I'm helping you
beneficial
by
thing.
seeing you, and you're helping me by showing me this product. Awesome. Okay, that's my first thought. Any light bulbs? Questions? What are you taking from this first section?
Don't be shy.
Just don't be
Fake
chicken.
it-
Don't be
fake it till
shy.
you make
Yeah, and all you have to do is read the script. We'll teach you that Monday. So if you notice, that's why this weekend we're not even teaching you this for tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Just friends and family for now. Specifically, best 5, best 10. Okay. Next part. I want you to write down phone times. Okay. When we're new, during your first 10 days, it's very easy to feel like all you're doing is making phone calls. And it's like random. And I'm making calls at night when I go home on a Thursday night. You're never going to go home like you did last night and try to make calls after 9 o'clock at night. Ever. And if you do, I will be mad at you because that's the wrong time to call. But the reason you can do it, number one, who are you calling? And number two, it's, you're in a contest. But moving forward, let me give you this structured set of times you call. Okay. So first of all, we call these phone jams. And it's every Sunday, Wednesday, and I'll put a question mark Thursday if you need it. It's every Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And Thursday only if you need it. If you're not booked up. And I'll explain what that means. So first of all, Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday, it's from 6 to 9:30 p.m. That's when the phone time is. Can anyone tell me why 6 to 9:30 is such a beautiful and easy time to get a hold of people? Yeah, they're off work or have done dinner or finishing or starting dinner. Okay. Number two, if you remember, and Dave should have covered this, how far out do we allow you to book your appointments? No more than how many days?
I do not recall.
How many days did you book your appointments for? How far out?
Oh, like
3
more
or
than
4
a
weeks.
3, right? Yeah, that's the rule, by the way. 3-day rule. How come no more than 3 days? Did Dave cover that with you? Hold on. Hey, David, did you cover a 3-day rule? Did you cover 3-day rule? Did you cover 3-day rule? You did? Did you cover 3-day rule? What's 3-day rule? Okay.
Or is it just because you don't know what's going to come up?
Yeah, so ready? The rule is right now, no one books appointments more than 3 days in advance. So for example, it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday's okay. But if you go past 3 days statistically, here's what happens. Life. What happens in life with Mac customers? The kids. What happens when the kids have stuff that comes up? The
Everything
schedule goes
drops.
haywire. Yeah, so they're more likely to cancel your appointment or reschedule on you. So 3 days. So here's why Sunday, Wednesdays, Thursdays costs. Super exciting. When is Sunday good to book for? The beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. When's Wednesday good for? The weekend. Why Thursday? In case your weekend's not fully booked, because again, a lot of our students do the majority of their appointments on the weekends because they're more free and parents are more free. Thursday, just in case. So you guys know Zach, right? Zach didn't have a good phone time Wednesday and he wasn't fully booked. So he came in again Thursday and he booked the rest of his appointments. Okay. So it's Sunday, Wednesday, Thursday. And remember, once you're done your first 10 days of training, that's really the only time you're here to make phone calls for the week, make phone calls for the weekend. We do it together, so it's more fun. Now, on these days, I would put down last appointment, 4:30 p.m. Meaning you don't want to ever have an appointment past 4:30. Anyone want to guess what happens if you have an appointment past 4:30 on Sunday, Wednesday, or Thursday? Let's say it runs over.
Wednesday?
Yeah, what happens? Well, if you have a 6 o'clock appointment, you're not doing phone time. Okay?
Oh, okay. So you, okay.
Yeah, so you don't want the last appointment on these days to be
Run
later than
into.
4:30. That way you never carve into this. And sometimes when someone's new, I'll hear this. Oh, Jeff, what's up? It's Juliana. Hey, I got this one customer. I know they're buying a homemaker for sure, but I'm probably gonna get them to a signature complete. In fact, maybe a kitchen, like the whole kitchen. But they want to see me Wednesday at 7. And I always say, okay, I always ask 2 questions. Cool. Are your next 3 days booked? If they say yes, then I say whatever. Cool. Most of the time it's no.
And you don't
And
want
when I
to
say
gamble
no,
on
I say,
that.
you know what?
Don't
Why don't you
gamble.
move it to another time they can see? Yeah, but they can't see me till the weekend. Then Right?
That's
I'd
fine.
rather you see them during the weekend. Here's why. It's simple math. Let's say she sells them $2,000 and she's at 30%. She made $600. What didn't she do from 6 to 9:30?
Schedule potentially $5,000.
And how many
or so.
appointments do you think she would have booked in 3 hours? You guys had 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, it could be 20 to 30 easily.
Yeah, let's just say at least 10. Like worst case. So she didn't book up 10 appointments because she did an appointment. Let's say it's 6 sales. Let's say our average order is 5, even 400, conservatively. That's 2,400. Oh, and what did she also not get from those 10 appointments?
Any recommendation?
Another 50 to 100 more people.
Yeah, it's not worth the gamble.
Yeah, and ready? If that person is that good of a customer, they're going to be that good of a customer on Friday or Saturday.
Right.
And what if that person decides, you know what, actually we're not ready to do this right now.
Yeah, so
And you
just
just
don't
play out
gamble.
the
Yeah,
money.
you're right. So you should get about 60 to 80% of your appointments from these phone jams. So if you do it right and you're really prepared, and you come with your list organized, you get the majority of your appointments booked up when you do it from the office. Okay. The second best phone time, we call AM calls, morning calls. And that's going to be Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m.
Is that in-house, in office?
You can do that from home. You can do that from here. We have ready the 10K coaching. It's not just for your group, but we have it year round.
Mhm.
So every morning from 8 o'clock, there's someone here, either from the new training group. Well, I'll tell you, it's funny, you're friends with Mila. Mila, after her first 10 days, if she wasn't booked, she would just show up the next day in the morning anyway. Because she rows crew, you know that, right? So she's up early and she says, if I do it from the office, I'm way more productive. So she just came here.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
gonna be the case.
So in your first 10 days, the coaching sessions are already at the same time anyway. Okay. And you should get, make sure, in the other 10 to 15% of your appointments here. 10 to 15%. Okay. And then I'll put down PM calls. PM calls would be I'll put 6 p.m. plus, meaning anytime after 6, any day of the week, pretty much. Okay. So here's what I'd say. The most successful reps have this kind of a schedule. Sunday they come in, they book up their first 3-4 days of the week, and they meet with us for their schedule. Wednesdays they come in, they book up their whole weekend, and they come to the team meeting, and that's when they're here. The rest of the time, it's up to you if you want to be here or not. And the more they want to come in, it's optional. But people like Neil and Josie, they just came all the time. It was easy for them to be productive. Okay. So that's the phone time. What are your light bulbs or takeaways from that? What stands out? What's becoming clearer for you?
I like all these times. My
Yeah.
schedule fits.
So ready? When you're finished your training, 10 days, and you're making phone calls, if it's not during these times, unless the customer told you that's when I'm free, you're just wasting a lot of time. So don't find yourself just making calls to make calls. Be really efficient. When you're not making calls, you're not making calls. When it's time to make calls, it's time to make calls. That
Make
way.
them all at once.
Mm-hmm.
Knock it out.
Last thing, and we'll go to the last 2 sections. I want to talk about your acquaintance list. I want you to write down your top 5 chicken list people. Like, who are the people that, man, I know they're a good Mac customer.
Oh, they're all so good.
If they were someone I were closer to or talked to, they would have made my top 5 or top 10. Those are the 5 I want you to write down. And just if you want to do more than 5, that's fine. But for now, 5.
See, this is where my Macs fall. Not many of my top 5 are very in the Mac thing. They're more in the I'll buy from you thing. But
That's okay too.
I wish this guy, my parents' best friends bought the full kitchen thing from what's his name? Ryan, I believe. He went to St. Thomas.
Can I make a suggestion? Show them.
Oh no, yeah, I'm totally down on my list there. I'm gonna make an appointment with them. But
Cool. And we got your top 5, and he'll give me the first person you wrote, Juliana.
My
And number second one.
my other dad's best friend.
Cool.
But she lives in Mexico, so
Internet. Okay. last few things, and then let me teach you some random tips, and then I'm gonna show you some selling tips. We'll take a quick break. Okay. So we'll say miscellaneous. Okay, miscellaneous tips. 5 before and 5 after. So remember, not when you're done training, but during the fast start, you're always hustling to get a lot of appointments. Okay. After training, you've got a set schedule. You know when you're making your appointments. You know what days you're doing 0 Cutco appointments. That's cool. But because you're going for a good fast start, anytime you get to a customer's house a little early before going in the driveway, make 5 quick phone calls. Book up anything that's open within the next 3-day window. If you don't have a scheduled appointment that you were supposed to schedule before you walk in, make 5 quick phone calls. And even if for some reason they don't pick up, make 5 quick phone calls. Then after, make another 5. Because here's the ratio. It's a 4-to-1 ratio. And now, I don't know if David covered this, but 4-to-1 ratio, meaning, okay, it takes about 4 calls for every appointment booked. It takes about 4 calls for every appointment to book. It doesn't mean 3 people say no. It just means 3 people might not be available. They don't see your call. They're at work still. So, if, for example, if I want to set up 10 appointments, how many calls do I have to probably make? 40, right? So if I can knock out 5 at a time in between appointments, it's going to yield me 10 more appointments later.
Pretty much to do as much without losing any.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now, when it's not a contest, like fast start, we have a push period coming up, which is another contest. I usually don't do the 5 before, 5 after. But if I'm trying to hustle and I got something on the line, then I'll always look to book my appointments. Okay. Next thing, one of my favorites, put in quotes. 10 push-ups. 10 push-ups. Okay. So I love going. I'm a gym rat, and my Heidi, who you meet, my fiance, she's a super gym rat. She's doing all the power squats, and she's really strong. Okay. Like really strong, but not gross strong. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I have to make sure she's not. Yeah,
Really strong. Wait.
really fit.
Let me.
Yeah. So she's not an official trainer, but she might as well be. Okay. I'm not an official trainer, but I know what I'm doing, I would say. And let's say I signed up for some personal training lessons, and the trainer says, okay, well, we're going to put you in a push-up routine to start for the next month. And Monday through Friday, Parker, here's what's going to happen. You're going to do 100 push-ups a day for 5 days. Then we'll check back in. Okay. So let's say it's day 1. I do 10 push-ups. I get on a scale, and I text my trainer. It's not working. Why is that weird? Why is that silly?
Didn't finish it.
You just can't
Good.
gain out of that from one.
Yeah,
side.
10 push-ups
It's-
isn't going to do
You
anything.
can't expect results
Okay.
without.
So ready? Same
It's
thing
long.
here. Same thing here. You can't judge the job on Monday based on just what happens by Monday. Here's why. 10% of you are going to sell less than 1,000. Most of you will sell between your first and second promotion and make this much money. And like Zach, 1 or 2 of you should sell between 3 and 10 and make between over 400 to 2,000. That's statistics. Okay. But I'll have students sometimes that will do 3 appointments, and on Monday they'll say, Jeff, I got to talk to you. The job's not for me. And I just say, 10 push-ups. Doing 3 appointments and Monday deciding if the job is not for you is like doing 10 push-ups. But think about it too. What's the closing percentage? Meaning, even if you're average with the company, what percentage of the time should you place an order with the customer?
300.
Okay, I thought it was 60. Yeah.
60%, right? For $300 if you mess up. That means 6 out of what?
10.
Yeah, it's got to be 10. So if
You
you do
can't-
3, if you do 3 appointments and you go 0 for 3, you don't know how the other 7 are going to go.
Yeah, you could make 6 sales. out
Yeah,
of
well,
those,
then ready? Colleen Rippey came in 1 for 4 her first appointment. She came in 1 for 4 by Monday, and she said, I don't think I can do this job. I said, 10 push-ups.
Well, it's easy to become discouraged.
And I said-
yeah.
You haven't even done the job yet, so will you do it my way? She goes, yeah. So I said, do you have your closing memorized yet? She goes, no. I said, sit in the room until you do it. So are you serious? I said, are you serious? She goes, yeah. So she memorized it, and she worked on a few things. She left advanced training, and it was early in the morning. Next 3 appointments were 3 homemakers. Right? So she went 1 for 4. Job's not for me. came to advanced training. That's the whole point of having the advanced training, to see where you're at and what you need. So she was here, clearly. And so she went 3 for the next 4. Okay, so she was 4 for 8, and that was about $3,000. She went on to have a $12,000 fast start. Okay, so just that, what I call that is healthy mental perspective. You have to have healthy business perspective on things. Okay, and then the last few things, communication is key. Okay, communication is key. Meaning, right? No matter what happens, communicate. If it's good, communicate. If it's bad, also what? Communicate. For example, let's say I'm going to use Brandon here. Let's say his first appointment, he does exactly what David said. Set your best 5 people first, follow the manual, cut lots of food, smile, have fun. And his first appointment isn't complete. Okay? And he was going for the whole kitchen, but he still isn't complete. Okay? Don't get too excited and don't get too high on the high, because not every appointment's a complete. But let's say Juliana, her first appointment, her first 3 appointments are homemakers. That's exciting, but just even keel. Let's say my first appointment, I sell a peeler. $40, not the grocery bill, not one of the more popular sets, but let's say I sell $40. Don't get discouraged, because the key is you just have to play the number game, right? And so my tip is don't get too high on the high, but also don't what? Too low on the low. And ready? When you are having a hard time and things aren't working out on the numbers, that's the reason to do what with your communication? Yeah, call more, get help. Zach called, I would say, he talked to David probably 9 times from every appointment, his first 4. I'll say it again. He called 9 times from every appointment, his first 4 appointments, because he had questions, he wasn't sure, but his results were pretty awesome because he made $1,000 by Monday. Okay, so communication is key. Next thing. Okay, and then last thing. So far so good, and that's a lot on the board. What's the biggest thing you're taking from those 5 things? What stands out from you, young lady?
So not get discouraged.
Yeah, don't get
in case-
discouraged.
Or don't judge.
Don't judge customers
The beginning.
and don't get discouraged. Okay, and ready? I'm not even going to listen to you until you get to your first 10 appointments. Once you get to 10 appointments, that's when we can even figure out how to fix you if you're having a hard time. We don't even know what to do until you get to your first 10. Parker, how about you? What are you taking from this?
I think it would be the 4 to 1.
You making
Actually,
sure-
no, 10 push-ups. I'm
Okay.
easily discouraged.
Good. Well, then, yeah, there's no need to be.
Yeah.
No need to be. Okay. As silly as doing 10 push-ups and texting your trainer is, it's just as silly as judging the job on 4 or 5 appointments. Same thing. Okay. Last thing I want to cover is how to sell the most popular sets first instead of dropping down to the grocery bill. Okay. So new sheet of paper. Last one, then we'll take a quick break. Okay. So the key to selling the 3 most popular sets. First thing I'll have you write down. Okay. It's just so you understand like what they're for. Okay. And did David cover like to, have to, love to?
Right.
Or have to? Oh, sorry. Okay. So
Like to.
let's do a quick review. So this is the homemaker. This is the one all the way to your left. This is the signatures, one in the middle. This is the complete all the way to your right. So far, so good. This is if you have to cook. What does have to cook mean?
You have the family.
You have family, you have
You
kids.
really like to
Okay,
cook.
yeah. And by the way, some people who have to cook like it, and some people who have to cook hate cooking, but they have kids. Okay. All you have are your 10 basic tools to get in and out of the kitchen. So let's review. And there's nicknames, right? Dave covered the nicknames. So open up your training manuals, page 6 and 7.
I think I left it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably yours. I'm sure Alexa has hers. If not, then
Yeah. Did you leave your blue book here too?
Might not.
Did you get the blue book?
Yeah.
Okay. So page 6 and 7 in your training manual. Right there. Perfect. So you guys have the nicknames in there?
Yeah.
Okay. So turn to that. Juliana, your white training manual. Page 6 and 7. Okay, ready? So let's review. Paring knife, what's the nickname for this one?
Air
Yeah, right. So up in the air. Okay.
Potatoes.
So the trimmer, this is for what kind of stuff? Small stuff. Okay. Well, remember that one more time. Pair knife up in the,
Air.
all together up in the.
Air.
You'll see where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Trimmer for small
Small
stuff. Spatulas for sandwiches. Let's go backwards. Pair knife up in the.
Air.
Trimmers for small
Small
stuff. One more time. Pair knife up in the.
Air.
Trimmer for
Small stuff.
spatulas for
Sandwiches.
beautiful. This is the petit carve. What's that for? Meat knife. One more time. What's this knife for? Meat. One more time. Pair knife up in the.
Air.
Trimmer for
Small stuff.
spatula for.
Sandwiches.
This is the meat knife. Okay. Then we have the turning fork, which is the serving piece. One more time. What's this for? Serving piece. Beginning. Pair knife up in the.
Air.
Trimmers for what?
Small
Small
stuff.
stuff. This is the spatula for.
Sandwiches.
This is the.
Meat.
And this is for serving. Beautiful. This big guy's the butcher knife. Protector. It's ready. It's for hard stuff. You have that in your notebook? Okay, hard stuff. One more time. What's this for?
Hard stuff.
From the beginning. Pair knife up in the.
Air.
Trimmer for.
Small stuff.
Spatula for.
Sandwiches.
Petit carver for.
Meat.
Turning fork for.
Serving.
Butcher knife is
Big
hard
stuff,
stuff. One more time. Hard
Hard
stuff.
stuff.
Okay. This is the petite chef. This is the veggie chopper. One more time. Veggie.
Chopper.
Ready? Up in the.
Air.
Trimmer for.
Small stuff.
This is the spatula for.
Sandwiches.
This is the meat
Meat.
knife. This is the.
Serving.
This is for what kind of stuff?
Hard stuff.
Hard stuff. This is the veggie
Chopper.
chopper. It's the bread knife. Okay, and it looks like a bread knife. Okay, one more time. What's this for?
Bread.
Backwards. Ready? Up in the.
Air.
Trimmer for.
Small stuff.
Spatula for.
Sandwiches.
Petite carver for.
Meat.
Turning fork.
Serving.
Butcher for.
Hard stuff.
Petite chef's a veggie.
Chopper.
This is the.
Bread.
This is for holiday and barbecue. Holidays and barbecue. What's it for?
Holidays and barbecue.
Last one. Ready? Paring knife up in the.
Air.
Trimmer for.
Small stuff.
Spatula for.
Sandwiches.
Petite carver for.
Meat.
Turning fork.
Serving.
Butcher knives for.
Hard
Hard
stuff.
stuff. This is the petite chef, the veggie.
Chopper.
This is the bread knife. This is for holidays and
Holidays.
barbecues. Everyday knife. Okay.
So the,
You guys get it. So real basic. Now, you obviously will read what they're for, but I just want you to know, okay, worst case scenario, this is for things up in the air. Worst case, this is and it's all in the basic set if you have to cook. Okay. The signature is a set for people who like to cook. So have to cook is I have kids. Like to cook is I have to cook, but once a month I have a party. But that's it. Okay. Most families are like to cook. Okay. So like to cook. It's the same 10 tools. So I'm not going to do the whole thing again. Okay. But it's got 3 of the customer recommended specialty knives. So what they did, so just so you know, customer did a little poll, big poll, with all Cutco customers and said, this is our complete line. These are the specialty knives outside of the basic 10. What are the 3 you would use the most? And that's what they put into the signature. It's the Hardy Slicer. Okay. This is the Hardy Slicer. And this is a cross between the butcher knife, so it's really thick, and the trimmer. So it's got the double D edge. So this is for really aggressive cutting, like thick cuts of meat and something really, really aggressive. Okay, really tough. Okay. Then you have the Sentoku knife. This is the Asian style, most popular style knife out nowadays. It's called the Sentoku. Sentoku in Japanese means 3-in-1. So if you look closely, you can see it's slightly curved at the bottom. Okay, it's like that. So what that means is it allows it to rock back and forth. So there's 3 parts to it. There's the back for dicing, like the veggie chopper. There's the middle for mincing herbs and garlics and all types of herbs. And in the front, it's got a point. It's good for butterfly chicken. So if it's too thick to cut or to cook, you go like that. You can flip it and cut it in half that way. Okay, so that's the petite, that's the Sentoku. And then you have the cheese knife. Now, obviously for cheese, but it's got holes so the cheese doesn't stick to the knife. And it's got a micro double D edge. So it's a double D edge shrunk for things like cheese, but also compressed foods. What's a compressed food? Anything that's wet on the inside and compact. Ready? Think pears and apples. It's compressed on the inside. And potatoes. This is easy to go through those. Okay? So
that one's for cheese, potatoes, apples.
Cheese and compressed food. Yeah. So think of it this way. This is the homemaker plus 3. Okay. The only difference too, it already has the scissors, and instead of 8 table knives, it's got 10 at the bottom. So just 2 more. Okay. So one more time. This is the homemaker for who? People who have to cook. This is if you like to cook, and that means you have to cook, but once a month you
Like to
throw a party once a month. Okay. Then there's the complete set. This is if you absolutely love to cook. Yeah. Okay. This is ready. Top Chef moms who think they're Top Chef. This is for the mom who likes to do all the entertaining. This is who cooks for a hobby. Also, this is also for people who, when they buy, they might not be the best at it, but they only want to buy the best things. I have an uncle. He's a CP, he's an accountant, right? And he's a DJ on the side. You know, does pretty well. I wouldn't say he's rolling in it, but when he buys something, he only buys, like he only has a BMW, Mercedes, or Lexus, or when he gets a TV, it's only the nicest TV out kind of deal. Okay. So the difference between that, you got the homemaker, but you have all of the specialty knives. Also has the scissors as well. And instead of 8 table knives or 10 table knives, it's got 2 more, it's 12 table knives. Okay. So the difference in the 3, I think it's just really important to know the difference so you can show it to customers. So let me give you, and then last thing before we take a break, I just want to put the price into perspective. Okay. The homemaker. Right. I'm just going to round off the numbers. You guys know the price of the homemaker. 12, right? I'm just rounding. So just some perspective. Our 3 most popular sets are the price of a laptop. Here's the perspective. How often are people getting laptops? Yeah, frequently. You ever go to Galleria Mall or wherever there's an Apple? Is Apple ever empty? No. If you, I'm ready, humor me on this. Anytime you go to the mall, grab something to drink or some food, sit outside Apple for 30 minutes and watch how many people walk out with a MacBook Pro. It's like 5 to 10 every time. I mean, they're killing it. That's a 13-inch, 15-inch, 17-inch. These are actually both 13-inch MacBook Pros. Both of these are about $1,200 bucks. How many of you know someone who has a MacBook Pro and they bought it themselves? They saved up for it, used a student discount, right? So here's the thing I want to share with you. For someone who has to cook, all they do is spend money on a laptop, and they've got every day use it, lasts forever. What's the payment plan on that?
$274 for 5 months.
Was it 270?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll call it 270. Divide this by what's the payment plan on this one? Let's see. Let's call 350. I'm just rounding. 3 and 5 and so 4. Okay. So think of this. For $270 a month, for less than a weekly grocery bill at Trader Joe's or Lucky's, we're talking about, right? For less than a grocery bill a week for a Mac customer, a month they can get a homemaker that they use how often?
Every day.
And lasts how long?
Forever.
It's a signature. This is actually this is for people who have to cook. This has been our most popular set, the signature, because it's roughly a good, decent weekly grocery bill. Okay? Or think of it this way. Another way to look at it. I'm married, so Heidi and I, let's say we have 2 kids. Not a big family, not a small family. Heidi's one of 10. I'm one of 4. So let's say we have 2. It's 4 kids. What's it going to cost for us to go out to a nice dinner at Duffy's or Carrabba's or anywhere on Plantation?
It's gonna be like 200, around 2, like 150, 200.
150 to 200. Okay. What if I go to somewhere a little bit nicer, like a J. Alexander?
Or 3.
Oh, between 2 and 3. Okay. So all I'm saying, and how often do families do that? Maybe sometimes once a month. So I just some perspective, on that. Super affordable, especially because of the payment plan. And if you divide that up, you can divide it by the day, and it's pretty interesting to see what it costs per day.
Yeah, and it's like a little bit, it ends up being a little more expensive when you factor it in. So there's like the little service fee, but
Yeah. So
it's
let's just
really
say 40.
affordable.
$40 a day. Oh, I'm sorry. We divide it by 4. Let's say 4. So. The homemaker $70 a week. How many of you have spent $70 in a weekend? You don't even know where the hell you spent $70. Yeah, you're not even a Mac customer. The prices are killer. Okay, I'll do that by day. How many of you have spent $10 in a day eating at Chipotle or wherever you eat? That's not even nice food. $10 a day, that's Chipotle, roughly. Mm-hmm. But you guys have friends that do it. You guys do it. So if you can afford that, who definitely can afford that? Yeah, and that's the homemaker. Let's do this one. I think it's $20 a day. I have like me personally, and I don't eat out. I try to cook more, but I'll spend $20 on one meal a day sometimes in my life. And it's not a big thing, but I'm also not 19 years old, I'm a college student. You guys see the difference? So What am I trying to show you here as I go through this?
When you break down the cost, it really is
putting
not
in the
Yeah,
expensive.
perspective and price. Don't act, think, or speak like who? Did Dave talk about this?
College students.
Yeah, don't
Speak
don't
like-
act like or speak like a college student. Don't act like or speak like a college student, because for a college student, that's a lot of money. Some of you have to scrape. I need $20 for today. If I have a hard time finding $20, I'm in trouble. Right? I should have $20 cash just laying around somewhere at my age and where I'm here. Especially if we're gonna have kids and it's different. Okay, so just food for thought. So what I want you to do, that's the workshop. You guys already got this. We can talk and catch you up with this. So far, so good. Any questions? Excellent. Let's do this. Let's take a quick 5-minute break. I have 1:08. Let's 1:15 reconvene. Take a stretch. If you want to make a quick call, here's my rule. Anytime we have a break, if you have someone that you couldn't get a hold of last night, go ahead and give them a call and make sure you only book within 3 days. So if there's a spot in your schedule that's open today, tomorrow, Sunday, you can book it. Cool? Okay, let's take 10. Oh, 5, sorry. Thanks, guys.